everyone, welcome back to episode, I need 2 hands now, 6 of Lost in the Sauce with your boy Fest Cooked. And today, we got some riblets on the table, baby. We are making some Budlight Apple smoked maple pork back ribs on the Kamado Joe smoker. It's gonna be incredible. It's gonna be a backyard barbecue favorite and absolutely made for summer. First things first, baby, we got some fat on these ribs that we've got to get rid of. Any kind of fat that's not going to render off on our smoker, we've got to slowly ease it off of our ribs. Anything that's hard to the touch, it's not going to render down. This isn't competition barbecue. This is backyard barbecue. So we're going to be doing a marinated pork back rib rather than a more competition style would be a dry rub back rib. And the reason we're doing that is we want to infuse these ribs with as much apple maple flavor as humanly possible. Pork is an amazing meat where, unlike beef, you can really infuse it with really any flavor that you want, and apple and pork go so well together. And you can even square them up. You see we got some of this flappy meat on the side here. Take your paring knife and just square them off the edge there. You gotta put some effort into the presentation. Most importantly, you got a membrane on the back of your pork back ribs. Take your paring knife and find your membrane. Grab this membrane on the back of your ribs and slowly, you can use a paper towel to get a little bit of a better grip, pull that membrane off. If you didn't do this, that connective tissue, it's super hard to bite through. Your guests are just gonna be gnawing on the ribs, and really, that's not the goal. So that little piece of effort just to get that membrane off, it's gonna go a long way for you. A beautiful marinated pork back rib starts with the most amazing marinade. And like I said, the reason for this marinade, we're not doing a dry rub. We're gonna be marinating these for a couple hours. That apple and maple flavor is gonna soak into the meat and give you, it's gonna be like eating an apple pie. It's gonna be incredible. Our base is gonna be a half a cup of brown sugar and half of that, a quarter cup of sea salt. Don't make a big mess. 2 tablespoons of paprika in. 2 tablespoons garlic powder in. Like I said, we're going for a little bit of an apple pie vibe, so I've got half a tablespoon of nutmeg here also going in. And I mean, today, the real big star of the show is the Blizzy, the summertime favorite. I mean, this shit is made for summer. It's also made for barbecue. Go ahead and put 1 whole Budlight Apple into your marinade, if it fits. If it doesn't fit, then put almost a whole one, drink the rest. Next, before we stir, welcome to Canada, baby. We have got some all-natural Canadian maple syrup. 2 tablespoons. 1, 2, and mix this up. The consistency that you're going for is gonna be like I don't know, like a soup, like a thick soup. Go ahead and taste your Budlight Apple maple barbecue slurry. That paprika should be coming through, but you should be getting the sweetness, the hints of maple. That apple flavor should be relatively prominent, and pour over both racks of ribs. The apples are kicking in. Your man's forgot the pepper. You add your pepper to there. I'm just gonna add mine on top. Be generous with the pepper all over. All right, grab yourself some cling film and cover these guys up. They're gonna chill for 2 hours. You can do this the night before if you want. 2 hours is sufficient time to soak these things up with plenty of apple, plenty of maple flavor. So cover these bad boys up and let's go light our smoker. All right, boys and girls, while your pork back ribs are marinating in that Budlight maple marinade, come and get your smoker ready. And I know, not everybody has a charcoal smoker or a pellet grill or something that they can be smoking with apple wood, but you can. If you have a gas grill at home and you want to be smoking some ribs, you can do it. Actually, Binging with Babish has a really good video on how to use a gas grill as a smoker, so look him up and look up his rib bit video because he does it on a gas grill. I got this Kamado Joe ceramic charcoal grill at about 250 degrees Fahrenheit. Perfect temperature for smoking. We've got a couple chunks of apple wood that we're gonna throw in here. I built my fire in a circular motion, so we got some nice airflow coming up and keeping the fire nice and constant. I'm gonna throw 4 chunks, and now that the fire is hot, I'm gonna throw them kind of on all sides here. We don't want these burning up immediately, just to start, smoking nice and slow. So we're looking for that nice, clean, blue smoke that's gonna taste incredible. If it starts to smoke all white hot, you gotta lower your temperature or something's going on, but it's not good. So blue, clean smoke, that's what we're after. All right, our ribs have been marinating in our Budlight Apple maple marinade for about an hour, 2 hours roughly. They've taken on some nice color. First things first, we do not want to waste this marinade. So we are going to pour this back slow and steady into our jar. This is going to be a big part of our barbecue sauce later on, because again, when we're smoking meat, we do not want our meat to be super wet. So we're going to let these dry out a little bit before we throw them on the smoker. These ribs are going to be on our Kamado Joe smoker, soaking up that applewood smoke for about 2 hours at 250 degrees. And just to make sure they don't dry out at all, we're going to be spritzing them a little bit with some Budlight Apple. So again, crack another Blapple. That's for Daddy. And fill a little spritzer. You don't need a lot. We've got some blue smoke just trickling out of our vents here. I'm not sure if you can see it. If you can't see it, that's a good thing because it's super, super faint. We don't want that white smoke coming out of our smoker. Nice couple racks of ribs. Beautiful ribs are on the smoker. They're gonna spend their time there. We can relax, have yourself a drink. But there's still some responsibilities before we take those things off. We're gonna make the most amazing Budlight Apple maple barbecue sauce that you've ever seen. And the first step is gonna be to chop up an onion, nice and fine. So we've got a full yellow Spanish onion, cooking onion. We've got some olive oil in our pot here, and it's starting to just teeny little bit of smoke coming off there. Next up, we've got 6 or 7 cloves of garlic. We're just gonna be going ahead, smashing these and throwing them in. You can chop them if you want, but you don't have to. Our onions, our garlic, they're softening up. First thing that we're gonna do to build the base of the sauce, you guessed it, Budlight Apple. A little 1/4 cup. Deglaze the bottom of that pot. Next up, all of this beautiful marinade that we started. Right away, we are gonna add this marinade. And the kicker to our barbecue sauce here is right here. A little organic piece of cinnamon that we're just gonna crack and add in. Along with the cinnamon, we got a little bit of acid from a nice green apple. We are just gonna slice off a piece, maybe a piece or two, and throw these in there. These are gonna assist with that apple flavor that we're going for. Simmer this down. It's probably gonna take 20-30 minutes depending on your heat. We want it to be nice and thick, enough that it's gonna start coating the back of your spoon. Our ribs have gone a little bit drier. They've been on there for about half an hour. We just want to keep the tops just slightly moist. We want to build a bark, but at the same time we want to make sure our ribs are nice and juicy. All right, baby, we are getting lost in this sauce. This barbecue sauce has reduced by a little over half. It's coating the back of a spoon absolutely beautifully. It's a golden brown color. Grab yourself a relatively fine mesh sieve and just pour your barbecue sauce into the sieve and into a little bowl underneath. Go ahead and work the sauce through the sieve. It's gonna be slow. This is a pretty thick sauce. All right, let's taste our sauce. It's nice and silky smooth. Coats my little finger so nicely. That is an apple pie barbecue sauce if I've ever seen one. Pairs quite nicely. Alright, our ribs have been on this smoker. They've been going, catching all that applewood smoke for about an hour now, and I mean, the goal of going low and slow, 250 degrees Fahrenheit for 2 hours, a nice slow cook, is we want to break down that connective tissue without drying out the ribs. So if you're going to be doing this hot and fast on the embers or hot and fast on the grates, and you could cook these ribs to 165 internal in like 2 minutes. But the plan here is we want to maximize the juices. Your meat starts, your meat around 165 starts drying out. The connective tissue starts breaking down at like 195. So how do you not dry out your meat while breaking down the connective tissue? The answer is low and slow. And what we're doing here is working out beautifully. Our ribs are starting to get a nice red color. We're gonna hit them with a little more of our Budlight Apple spritz. And back they go for another hour. Our beautiful ribs have been on here for about 2 hours. They're soaking up tons of smoke. We're gonna wrap these in some foil, let them soften up a little bit for us. Hopefully the bone's gonna separate a little bit from the meat and tender up. But the key is, let's look at the internal temp of these ribs. You can see they've taken off in a little bit of nice color. We're looking for 180, 190, but more importantly, look how easy this is going in and out. This is when you know your ribs are done. That is like absolute butter. There's no resistance going into that meat. We're gonna slather them in our beautiful Budlight maple barbecue sauce. Okay. Now I'm going to scoop these ribs up. Look at that, beautiful. Upside down, meat side down onto our butter. Both racks, one next to another. Don't forget to get the bottoms with a little bit of sauce. Back on the heat for another 15, 30 minutes or so. Our ribs have steamed up in their nice little wrapping. I'm going to put your gloves on, scoop these out of here. And we're gonna get these back on here just to tack up the sauce a little bit. And we're gonna hit them again with just a little more sauce. We're gonna let this sauce tack up just for 2-3 minutes under the heat, and then we're gonna get to eating. Look at these riblets, baby. I cannot wait to cut into these. So let's see. I'm hoping when I cut into these, we're gonna see a little smoke ring peek through from that applewood smoke. When I bite into it, I want to taste apple, maple, and I want the pork to be beautifully juicy and fall off the bone so nicely. So let's take a look. This is what I'm talking about. We've got a beautiful couple millimeters of smoke ring on there. That's gonna elevate that apple flavor. Our sauce, that Budlight Apple maple sauce, smothered all over these beautiful ribs. Let's see. Did it again, baby. You already know what it is. I'm getting maple, apple. The pork has soaked up that marinade so nicely. For non-traditional ribs, we didn't use a regular rub. We still got good smoke penetration. This is what barbecue is all about. This recipe is #made for summer. Go grab yourself a pack of Bud Light. Go make this recipe. I mean, you're gonna be the king of the backyard after this one. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel, Fest Cooks. There's gonna be many more of these to come. I love you. Bye-bye. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Share it with your mama, your tita, your nona, your sister, your brother. And if you want to see another Lost in the Sauce video, click right here. And please subscribe down below to my channel, Fest Cooks.